Today's video is going to be about receiving comments and criticisms from people in your world, like your partner or your doctor or your parent, because I oftentimes see this on Facebook where people will get a comment on their skin, and sometimes it can be done angrily, in frustration, or in a very mean manner, where the person's reaction comes through in their words, and the reaction of the skin picker is this absolute devastation and just feeling crushed and like you're crumbling and falling apart within yourself. And then what happens is that people complain that they now go and pick their skin to release the emotional reaction that they had during the interaction or the confrontation. So how to work with these situations. Now, this is a bit of another tough pill to swallow, because when you are confronted by such words, it's often the reaction that you're having is in relation to the truth that you hear within the words, where you know that the person is going through their own thing and having their own reaction, but at the same time, the words that they're speaking are speaking a certain truth that you're aware of. And the fact that you're aware of it brings up like an anger and a guilt and a remorse towards yourself, because you know that what they're saying is true. Why aren't you stopping? Why are there sores all over your face? Why do you do this to yourself? And it is frustrating for other people in the life of a skin picker, because they go into a powerlessness and a helplessness. No matter how much they care, it does affect the people around us. So in hearing the truth in their words, that the emotional reactions of anger and frustration, regret, remorse, is actually not towards them at all. You may react to their reaction towards you, but the words that they're speaking, and when you hear the truth within it, the reaction is more about yourself and knowing that this is true and this is the answer, and you actually need to hear it. Because when you're exceptionally loved and cared for, it's almost like, I've experienced in my relationships being practically loved to death, where I was in what I would have called back then a completely supportive relationship. But in fact, it was just enabling me and protecting me from my own reactions towards myself. And then when I was in very confrontational relationships, what that did, it would just highlight how I actually feel inside myself and bring it through to my awareness. So in these situations where you're receiving the criticisms and the comments, it's to not to take it personally as if it's an attack on who you are. It's an attack, or even just a highlighting on a part of you that is in fact not acceptable, and something you do not want to accept and allow in your life, and you know it. But the thing is that we've placed so much of our coping and our dependence on the skin picking that it's like we almost want to protect and defend it. There is a saying, it's called arguing for your limitations, and that is very much what we do in these situations, where it's like, how dare you question my disorder, and we'll justify it and defend it and protect it, when in fact what we should be doing is opening ourselves up to those words and saying, yeah, you're right, I need to stop this, and I need to be hearing this, and I'm so sorry that I bring this into your life, and thank you for the reminder. And that's the type of response you can have when you take 100% responsibility for your healing and realize the relationship you've developed with the disorder, where we protect it like some cherished thing, almost like Gollum and his ring in Lord of the Rings. It's like we know it's destroying us. We can see the physical evidence that it's destroying us, but it's my precious. It's this thing that I need in my life because of what I derive from it. And some of the things that I do in my courses and in my mentoring is to realign the relationship that we have with the disorder, so that we are very clear on where we stand with it, so that we do not protect and defend it. We in fact let our guards down and allow ourselves to hear the words of others and stand in strength and stability in hearing them and taking them as a support instead of as a criticism. And I'll tell you right now, if your partner, your parent, your doctor has an explosive outburst at you and you react in that way, in a gratefulness and a knowing and an understanding and a hearing what they're saying, it is going to shock them and really kind of snap them out of the reaction, because deep down, the doctor, the parent, the partner, what are they in relationship to you is someone that cares about you, and someone that has their own mind and their own issues and is going through their own process with you and your disorder and with themselves and their own lives. And yes, their emotions will get the best of them just like it gets the best of us. And we can't expect other people to be stronger than we expect ourselves to be. So if you want your partner, doctor, or parent to be absolutely level-headed all the time and never react and never speak any words that will ever hurt you, then you have to ask yourself, are you able to do that for yourself towards others? And the answer is no, we're not. I mean, just the fact that we have this disorder is indicative of the fact that we are not, these stronger than and totally in control, which is okay. We're working on it. But to expect somebody else outside of you to be that is like placing higher expectations on other people than you're placing on yourself, and then always making excuses for yourself, justifications and validations of why you're not stepping up and taking full responsibility for your disorder. So it is to depersonalize the words and hear the truth within them without reacting from a place of trying to protect and defend something that you know is not best for you. And this takes incredible maturity and self-stability and a very deep understanding of your relationship with your disorder, where when you step up in these ways, you can hear people. You can actually be the stable one in that interaction, where you're able to bring through the underlying care and the underlying desire for that person to work with you towards healing, bringing the understanding through to them instead of expecting them to just automatically have it or bring it through and be that for you. I've covered this in other videos where we have to be for ourselves what it is we expect others to be for us, because others cannot do that for us. And we're going to go through life just constantly being crushed over and over every time we hear a criticism about our disorder or a feedback or a comment, because we ourselves are feeling like not only disempowered but also wanting to protect it and maintain it in our lives, no matter how much we see that it's killing us and that it's destroying us. So in order to be able to stand in the face of these comments and hear the words and the support in a non-reactive way involves an understanding of where the person's coming from. It can come out as mean and uncaring, but in fact it could be that these people are actually being exactly what you need in that moment. Because I'll say it again, I've been with people that are absolutely caring and it didn't help. Sometimes I needed that ruthlessness because I needed it within myself. And as soon as I was standing for that within myself, it's like, yeah, it hurt to hear the words, but I could hear the truth in the words and say, yes, you're right. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, with my disorder? I need to do something here. And you can even say, I hear you. I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. I feel powerless, but I know that you're right. And what is this shit on my face? And what am I doing to myself? And why am I destroying myself? I mean, this is how we should be able to speak to ourselves and move and push ourselves to stand up and be able to withstand the people in this world, because this world is never going to conform to become something that will make it any easier for us. You're not going to ever be able to avoid people who are going to be like this. It's just the way the world is, because everybody's human and is no better or no worse than you, and is not doing anything better or worse than you. In fact, oftentimes we are being even more critical towards ourselves in our own minds, but we're doing it in a destructive way instead of in an empowering way. It's kind of like the hitting rock bottom thing, where it's like it's got to get bad before we move our asses, instead of kind of drifting along in comfort and going through cycles over and over where we have periods of comfort and periods of self-destruction. So take the ruthlessness from the world and the ruthlessness from within yourself and see it for what it is. It's what we have to hear, and it can be a great support. And realize the type of person that you have to be in order to withstand this stuff. So yeah, we have to thicken our skin, so to speak, and be tough, because you have to be tough with yourself to get through this disorder. And there will be people in your life and your world that you will come across that will challenge you in this exact way, because sometimes it's what we need, a little kick in the ass. And yeah, it hurts, but we're hurting ourselves even more. Sometimes we need someone outside of ourselves to show us what we're doing and to show us what we need to become in order to withstand our own internal bully, our self-bullying. You experience it in the outside world. It's just showing what we're doing inside of ourselves towards ourselves, how we put ourselves down and judge ourselves and beat ourselves up for what we do, instead of just seeing it objectively. Like, yeah, I have this disorder. Now, what can I do to support myself? What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? What do I need to strengthen and practice? Because every day that we are not strengthening and practicing our healing, we're actually strengthening and practicing the disorder. So it's like, which wolf do you feed? Okay, hope that was clear. Remember to post a comment if you have any feedback for me. If you want to challenge me, you don't agree with me, or just some insights into experiences in your life where you've had this. Okay, thanks a lot for listening, and goodbye.